So say goodnight to the bad guy.
You looking at the bad guy. This the last time that you ever see a bad guy like me. You don't have the guts to be who you wanna be.
What is up, guys? Another episode of Honor Among Thieves here, coming at you with a very, very special episode, very, very special story. Got a gentleman who has a unique story to tell. First car thief I've ever had on the show, so that's new. Gotta get into the underworld of Grand Theft Auto, how he made a lot of money in that racket. The backstory of how the business actually works, because most people think just because technology's evolved and stealing cars isn't a thing anymore, but it very much is. You're going to get to see it firsthand from him. So, Skinny Keem, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Hope the drive wasn't too bad.
Nah. I live in Florida, so it wasn't that bad.
Cool.
I'm out here every week, out Miami way every week.
Definitely. So, I checked you out on Ian Big Show. Mm-hmm. He's a friend of mine, Johnny Mitchell. So, yeah. Your story's out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. And you're one of the only prolific stories I've seen that involve like stealing cars and Grand Theft Auto, that kind of stuff. I'm very surprised that because cars are pretty profitable from what I've been hearing from what you've been telling me, right? There's a lot of money to be made. So I'm surprised that there's not more stories about that kind of the car ring, car theft ring and that kind of stuff. But your story has a lot of good elements. Right. It has the big organized crime thing, but then it also has the backstory with the connections and the people and and then your story eventually trying to get it into a movie somehow. So
yeah,
we'll get into all that. But so let's start at the beginning. So you're from Philly?
Yeah, I'm from Philly. South Philly.
Okay.
I was born and raised in South Philly, moved up to Southwest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was Philly like growing up as a kid?
It was pretty good. South Philly was pretty good. My mom took care of us really well as kids. We had everything. It was the drug era back then. So
the 80s?
Yeah, in the 80s. Everybody had money.
Okay, so like the crack era.
Yeah. So I was born in 1980, so around then everybody had money. So we grew up as, I wouldn't say rich kids, but we had a lot as kids.
That era in Miami was pretty interesting too. You had all the coke dealers, the cocaine cowboys, that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
The 80s was a special. I tell everybody, I think I was born in the wrong era. I think I was supposed to be born in the 80s.
In the 80s?
Yeah. I'm a 90s kid, but they turn out how they turn out. So what are you into as a little kid? Like what?
Stealing.
Okay. All right.
Stealing,
like
yeah.
Anything, whatever?
Well, I started out stealing food stamps because I don't know why, but there used to be a lot of food stamps in the house. So I don't know why. But then, I didn't know why then, but years and years later, I found out that it was like a food stamp racket going on.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What would they do? Like, what was the scam? How did they make money?
I really don't know, but I just know that they had a lot of food stamps. I don't really know the basics of it, but
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the food stamp. What else would you steal? Bikes, like from other kids, that kind of stuff.
No, I ain't still buy. I was still out the stores, but the crazy thing was I had money, and I still was still. Because I thought I could get away with it, or most of the time I did get away with it.
It was kind of your way of having fun?
Not fun, but it was just like an addiction. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. How old are you at that time? Like real little?
Yeah, like 6, 7. Yeah.
Really?
6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't have to steal. That's the crazy thing, but I would just do it.
Interesting. Okay. So what stuff are you getting into in elementary school? Like first grade, second grade, Like, are you a good kid? What kind of friends are you hanging around?
I was a badass. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to do nothing really. All I wanted to do, by the time I turned maybe say 10 or 11, I wanted to be a rapper. So I just was rapping.
Okay.
Any school I went to, it was just the rap from middle school on up. Yeah.
Were there any rappers that came out of Philly around that time? I know later we had like Beanie Siegel and that kind of stuff.
No, before then it was nobody really, but you know, like the Will Smiths and stuff like that. It wasn't really like the rap hasn't evolved into what it did.
It did today.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in a single parent household?
Yeah. After moving from South Philly, we grew up in a single parent household.
Just you grew up with your mom?
Yeah, my mom, my sister, and my 2 brothers.
Okay. Yeah. What happened with your father?
They just got divorced. Yeah.
Did you still see him?
From time to time, but I never had no animosity towards him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you the oldest?
No, my sister the oldest.
You're the second oldest?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm the third.
Third.
I got another brother. Yeah, I'm the third. Then there's one more after me. Yeah.
All right. Did you see any growing up in that era? Was there anything you saw as far as criminal elements as a kid that you thought maybe like you were attracted to or you liked?
Drug dealing. Drug dealing and almost killing. Drug dealing. I seen a lot. I seen shootouts. I seen a lot coming up as a kid. So that made me not fear the streets. It made me not fear the streets. I wanted to be in the streets, but when I wanted to be in the streets, but I wanted to be known. I wanted my name, my whole name to mean something by the time I got older. So I think that's what I was working on since I was a kid. Whether I was going to make it rapping or whether I was going to make it as a big drug dealer. I never thought about no cars, though.
Did you have any guys in the street that you would consider like a street mentor at that time, like as a little kid?
Yeah. There's these guys on 60th and King Sesson. Yeah, I looked up to them, and they called me their little brother. So I would watch them if I'm going to the store. And then it was guys on my block on 60th and Regent Street. I would just watch them while everybody went to go swimming or play basketball. I ain't know how to swim and I ain't know how to play basketball. So I would just stay around the hustlers, go to the store for them, and I would just learn how to hustle.
Okay. So at this time, are you learning? So you're learning the drug game at this point?
Yeah, I'm learning the drug trade. Yeah.
Okay. Were you working as an underling under them, kind of like learning the game that way, or were you just watching from afar?
No, if going to the store was an underling, then things like that, like I would go to the store for them. I would just sit out there, and I was more like a little brother, but I was paying attention to everything that was going on. When other kids was being kids, I wasn't being a kid. Yeah.
This is still very young, like 7, 8, 9 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very different from what most kids are doing at that age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's throughout any of this, do you see those guys like get in trouble, get arrested, any of that kind of stuff? Like, are you conscious of the fact that those are the consequences of what can come from that life?
Yeah. Shootouts, shootings, and stuff like that. But I always thought that I would be smooth enough to not be in none of that. But I knew that it could come with it because I'm watching everything that's going on. So basically, I was teaching myself how to stay out the way. Yeah.
Okay. So you're pretty little, right?
You're like small.
You're like in elementary school.
Yeah.
Does your mom or dad or anybody in the family get wind of what you're up to?
Nah.
Okay.
No, because it wasn't like I was really doing nothing wrong. I just was observing. I'm very observant. Yeah.
Okay. So when would you say, does this become a slow progression? Or is there a moment where you kind of do something and you're like in?
That wouldn't come until I think 1996, 1995, 1996.
So you're a teenager at this point?
Yeah, I'm 15, 16 years old.
And up until that point, you've never broken the law?
No.
Okay. But you've been watching other people?
Yeah, I've been watching. I not broke the law like
yeah,
crazy.
Like,
stealing from the stores.
You still like shoplifting and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that was my thing, shoplifting.
And you were doing it for fun? You wouldn't make money doing that?
No money.
Okay.
It was for my personal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No run-ins with the law. Never got arrested. No. Cops never called your mom like, hey, he got caught stealing, any of that stuff?
No, one time they set these houses on fire and I was there, so we had to go to court for that. They like, damn, they set a whole block on fire.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was in...
Were you involved?
Yeah, you could say that, but not far as lighting the match or nothing. Right. I probably was an instigator in that. Yeah.
Okay. So walk us through it. What happened?
So we had this, actually somebody left a stolen car in the back of the houses. And I was into fire. I don't know why. I was into fire trucks. I just liked to see fire. So I coerced one of my friends to light the car on fire. He lights the car on fire, and it took out like 5 or 6 houses. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Arson as a teenager.
Yeah, probably in my manipulation stages of life. Yeah.
So that brings up a good question. At a young age, do you realize you can influence people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at a young age. Because I never been in no fights or nothing. Like, I never had to fist fight nobody. I never really had beef with nobody or nothing. Because I can basically influence people to like me. Like, I can make people like me. Even if somebody didn't like me, like a couple weeks later, we'd be best of friends. Yeah.
When did you realize that you had this ability to make people like you? How young were you?
I guess 15 or 16.
So around that time where you kind of...
around that time,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and up until this point, you're still like, parents still aren't really knowing you're kind of observant of that world and wanting to get involved?
My mom just knew I was bad. School and shit. My dad knew I was bad. He had to come up to the school before, and me and him got into something at the school one time, and he tried to hit me, and I ran, and I turned around and told him, and this hurt me because I just talked to my dad a few weeks ago. He came down Florida, and I took him to dinner, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna get my friends to kill you. And yeah, I just was a trip. But we got past that, thank God.
What looking back now as an adult, can you pinpoint anything that made you want to act that way as a kid?
Nothing. It was just me. It wasn't nothing I seen. It was just me. It was just, nobody influenced me. Nobody did nothing. It was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be my own person. I didn't want to listen to nobody. I wanted to listen to the voices that was in my head telling me what to do. You know, I didn't really care about no authority from my mom or nothing. If I'm going to go to school and act out, that's what I'm going to do.
So it was more of just like not liking authority.
Yeah.
Kind of being rebellious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to be the leader. I wanted people to listen to what the fuck I was saying or pay attention to what I was doing, even if it was bad. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's push forward then. Around 15 or 16, is this the first time you get arrested or first time you decide to break the law?
Yeah, this is the first time I decided to really, really break the law.
Okay.
They took me down to the police station and all that. We had to go to court. That got resolved.
But walk me through what happened. What was it that led to getting arrested and all that?
That was the fire.
Oh, it was the fire. Okay.
Yeah, that was the fire. Yeah, we got arrested at the fire.
All right.
Yeah, we was
now you get booked. Your parents have to come get you.
Yeah, my mom
date.
came and got me. We went to court and...
What's the charge? Do you remember?
No. I don't remember the charge. I just know that they gave us a slap on the wrist because we were so young. I don't even think I was 15. I don't think I was 15. I couldn't have been. I had to be like 12 or 13. Yeah, they slapped us on the wrist and they sent us home. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say after having that experience for the first time with the police, you're not really scared of getting arrested or
No, I was scared. That's
you were?
why.
Okay.
That's why. And I didn't get arrested again. I had no more run-ins with the police until 1999. Yeah. I stayed away. I stayed clean. I stayed out the way. Yep.
So that observance you had of like the dope boys making all that money and stuff after the arson and getting arrested and all that, getting arrested pushed you away from the criminal world?
It pushed me away from getting caught. It pushed me away from getting caught. I just had to, come up with ways not to get caught on shit I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but I wasn't really doing nothing, really violent or nothing like that. It was just bullshit. Still stealing from the store, get caught but don't get arrested.
Right.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Okay. So you keep kind of like stealing and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in high school at this point, right?
Yeah, high school now.
Okay.
Right.
Your plans are still to either be a drug dealer or a rapper?
Yep, rapper. It was a rapper at this point, just a rapper. 'Cause I was like one of the only rappers that was really going to every school I went to until everybody started rapping. I was rapping a lot. Yeah. I was like the neighborhood rapper. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So high school rolls around. You're turning 18 at this point, right? More or less, you're becoming a man.
Mm-hmm.
You've managed to not get caught for stealing from stores and that kind of stuff. But again, that's just you being you. That's not, there's no criminal profit element there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So walk me through like the end of high school. What's going on?
The end of high school, I just was rapping. I just was going to school to rap. Lunch, I wouldn't never go to class really. I would go to everybody lunch, and then after that, I would go home and I'd just be rapping. And then I finally got into the streets a little bit. I started selling a little bit of weed in Logan. So that was my first push.
Did you drop out of school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't finish. I dropped out at 12th grade. Okay. I don't know why, but.
All right. So you started selling some weed. What's Logan, a part of neighborhood
Philadelphia?
In
Philadelphia,
yeah.
Okay. It's right across from Nicetown, you could say. Across Broad and Hunter Park. There's an area in Philly called Logan.
Is that like a dope spot where people go to?
No, actually it was a nice spot back then. But that's where the car thief was living at. So that's how that's how I seen people that were stealing the cars that had all nice cars. But I couldn't drive back then, so I'd just be like, oh damn, that car nice. So yeah. Yep.
You couldn't drive at 18, you still weren't driving cars?
No, I wasn't driving.
Okay.
I wasn't driving. I didn't know how to drive yet. I didn't know how to drive until about 20. Yeah, it's about 20. Yep.
I've never met anybody who took that long to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
Much less a car thief.
The thing was, I wanted people to drive me around. I'm like, man, I'm never driving. I want somebody to drive me around. And then my friend, he took me one time and he let me drive his car. And I drove it and I started liking how to, I wanted to drive, but I still didn't know how to yet until 20. Yeah.
Okay. Around when is the time? So is this around the time you meet the car thief and you start getting into that world, or just something?
No. I just met him because he was living around the corner and he always had the nice cars. So he used to ride by and that's it. Okay,
but you're selling weed on the block, and that's like how you're making your money. Like that's how you're making ends meet.
Yeah, but it wasn't nothing really. I still was young, even though 18 was kind of old. I still felt like I was young. I wasn't making no money really then off the weed. But when I went to Southwest, I was making a few dollars.
Okay. So now at this point, you're 18, you're selling weed, you're kind of making some money here and there. You're still with your parents' house. Do you move out? Like, do
Yeah.
you break off? What's going on?
So I was still living at my mom's house, and then she had to leave out that house, and she had somewhere to go, but me and my brothers didn't have nowhere to go. So I started sleeping in this car around the corner on 11th and Loud, and I started sleeping in the car, and then my sister finally, she let us come to her house, and then we moved up to Southwest Philly. And then that's when I was like, man, I can't be broke no more. So I started selling the weed on a bigger scale, and then I moved to selling crack. But I always used to do everything by myself. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of people that's hustling, but I wanted to always stand out by myself.
Yeah. Was that because that was your way of mitigating risk? Like less people involved, less chances of getting caught, that kind of thing?
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just like to be by myself because I didn't smoke. Everybody was smoking. I didn't really like spending my money. I didn't like, spending my money. And I was rapping, so I was with my rapper friends all the time. I wasn't like with hard street people, but I knew all the hard street people.
Mm. You know what's interesting is I've met a lot of drug dealers and interviewed a lot of drug dealers that don't do drugs.
Yeah.
It's more of like a money thing, like a hustle business thing, business tip. So more of the common occurrence that I've kind of ran into. So at this point, this is how you're making your money, right?
Yeah.
So you evolve from weed to crack.
Yeah. And I was the only person selling it. Where I was at, I was the only person selling it. I introduced it to that block.
Area.
Yeah, that block rather. And then I evolved from there.
Is this, how old are you at this point?
20.
20.
And I got my first car, and that was it. And I just I just had a love for cars after that. And I just kept getting new cars.
What kind of cars did you like?
Well, back then, we just had like celebrities and stuff like that. And then I had got a BMW. So once I got the BMW, that spoiled me. I didn't want nothing else. I didn't want no lower cars no more once I got the BMW. But before then, just like hood cars, Bonnevilles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cadillacs.
Yeah.
Chevy Caprices, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Cadillacs in the 80s and 90s were big in Miami.
Yeah.
Huge. You had a Cadillac back then, you were doing good.
Yeah.
All right, so you're about 20 years old. How much money would you say you're pulling in at this point? If you had to kind of...
Yeah, at this point, because it was me by myself, and I had met this guy, and when I met him, he had gave me a pound of weed, and I had broke the pound down, and I had gave him his money back, and I kept my money, and I had went to jail for some crack that they had found me with one time, and when I came home, he was there. He took me to the store. He bought me some sneakers and everything, and he was moving. By the time I came out of jail, he was like one of the big drug dealers. So I started working for him, and I don't even know how much I was making. I was making a lot. Every time I'm making money, I don't even really be counting it. I just know that I be making a lot. And he was moving whole birds. And I'd be riding, holding it. I'd be holding the money in the bag. I don't know if I was a flunky or not, but I really looked up to him. Yeah.
Okay. So how long does this go on for? Like, it sounds like you're pretty solid. Not like, full blown, but you have enough to where you're making good money.
Yeah.
Right? What kind of run do you have? Like, how long do you sell drugs for?
So from 2000 until 2003, and then the police said I did something, but I ain't do it, so that's what stopped my run. Or either they said I was there, or that's what stopped my run. And yeah, I was messed up after that because it was a murder that happened, in the area that I be in, and they thought I had something to do with it. So that shit stopped my run. And I ain't sell nothing after that. I just tried to pursue my music career.
When you say that, did they they just interrogated you for the murder? Yeah, did they arrest you for it? What happened?
They interrogated me in, I'm going to say 2003. I was driving and I had a rental car and I got pulled over. It was like after school one day and I was riding up to the school and I got pulled over. And when they came back to the car, I had gave them my little brother name because I didn't want them to take the car. I didn't know I had no warrant or nothing. I didn't want them to take the car. And when I gave them the name, they was going to let me go, but I gave them my address. And when I gave them the address, it was a warrant for questioning for a murder. So when that address came up, I guess whoever fingerprints was in the system, their picture came up and my picture came up and they took me to jail to question me. Well, they took me down to the roundhouse to question me. They had me there about 3 days. And then I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Then they let me out. But then they came back in 2006 and locked me up again and asked me about it again. And I told them I don't know what they talking about. And then I sat for 6 months, and then they finally let me out.
During those 3 years from 2003 to 2006, what are you doing for money?
I didn't have none. Like when I don't have no money, I still don't complain or nothing. You wouldn't even know I ain't got none. So I didn't have none. I ain't had no money. I probably was staying with my baby mom or something like that, and she probably was looking out at that time. I ain't had no money.
Okay. All right. So you get rearrested for the same murder. They sit you in jail for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
They finally let you out.
Yeah.
What's your mindset at this point? How old are you?
26.
26. So you get out from jail. You kind of they let you go. What are you thinking at this point? Like, what's your plan in life?
Where am I gonna get some money from? But it's crazy because I wasn't even worrying about the money. I was worrying about a car because I seen my friend at the mall and the one that steal the cars. And I'm asking him, can he get me a car? And I ain't got no money. I just want a car.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So walk me through, because I heard the story when you were talking to Jason and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through the story of what happens there. What did he need your help with? He
wanted me to promote his song on my MySpace page.
Right.
So to promote his song on my MySpace page, he was gonna get me a stolen car.
Okay.
I originally wanted a Audi TT drop top. It was wintertime and I wanted a drop top. I didn't care. So he ended up getting me a F-150. A 2007 F-150. We originally went, that morning that he got the F-150, we originally went to go get a motorhome or RV. We went to go get one of them. Yeah. But before that, he came and he had 2 keys to a Chrysler 300. He took me back to the lot. He came and got me like 9 o'clock in the morning. He took me to the car lot and I didn't know that I was supposed to be taking the car at the time. He got me on the lot and said, here go your key and here go my key. And I'm like, what? And he like, when I jump in mine, you got to jump in yours and leave. And he got in his car and I froze. And I'm like, no, I ain't doing it. I run back across the highway, get in the car, and I follow him back to the hood. And he go sell the car for about $200-300. I'm thinking it was about that because wasn't nobody getting nothing. And then the next day, that's when he came and he got me the F-150.
All right, guys, taking a quick break from Honor Among Thieves podcast to bring you a word from our sponsor. And that is Federal Prison Tips. At Federal Prison Tips, we help people navigate the justice system from indictment, re-entry, everywhere in between. Whether you're a loved one trying to get relief for someone that you love that is in federal prison, you are currently in federal prison, or about to go to federal prison, we can definitely help you. Everything from plea mitigation, sentencing mitigation, PRSAR challenges, anything about guidance while you're in prison, actually what to expect if you're a first timer and have never been there, whether this is your second case, third case, you haven't quite learned your lesson yet. Either way, we can help you with everything that has to do with federal prison, good time, FSA, second chance credits, getting designated to a facility. Any issues you might be having within the federal prison system, we can definitely help. Honor Among Thieves podcast. Mention that you saw us on the podcast and you'll get special rates only given to those who listen to the podcast. Again, 407-434-0175, extension 7. Hit us up, federalprisontips.com. Contact us. Let them know you heard about them through me. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, so after he gets you the F-150, are you just riding around in it for fun, or do you potentially see an opportunity to make money with the cars?
I rode around in it for 6 months. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was making a little bit of money, so I wasn't too hard pressed on, you know.
What were you doing?
Selling drugs again.
Okay.
Yeah, selling drugs again.
Right back at it.
Yeah. So I rode around in 6 months. For 6 months in that truck. And then I rode to my, I go to Southwest Philly every day. And I ran into one of my friends and he like, yo, you want to sell that? And I'm like, it ain't got no paperwork. And then he was like, man, they gonna take it without the paperwork. And I'm like, all right, how much can I get? He made a call and he came back and he said $1,500. And I'm like, all right, I wasn't making that much money selling, the drugs, and $1,500 was good back then. So I took the $1,500 and I met the plug that night. I sold the truck to him and I met the plug that night.
Okay. So what once you sell him the car, was your intention to, all right, I know I can sell these cars for money. Let me see if I can get some more of these cars. Was that kind of what you were thinking?
So at first, no. I just got the $1,500 and I'm like, damn, all right, I got $1,500. What am I going to do with this? And then I was sitting there and me and the plug talked for about an hour and he just was explaining to me what they needed. I asked him what he wanted and they said Range Rovers. And I got home that night, or it all goes together. I got home that night, or I called yesterday, but I called the original guy that was taking them and I said, hey, I know these people and they need Range Rovers and they're going to give us $2,500 a Range Rover. I'm going to take 5, but you still got to give me an extra 2 off of it. So I take 7 and you take 18 and, and we bought them about 4. We went up to Allentown. It was a service station. It was a Range Rover that was being serviced. He jumped in it, pulled off and brung it back and I sold it. And I gave him his cut, and I took my cut. And we did that about three more times because we bought about 4 of them. And then I seen how the money was coming, so I went home and I revised everything, and I just put a team together, and we just got busy.
Tell me about this plug. Describe him. Like, what's your first impression of him? What are you thinking? Like, what do you think his vibe is? Tell me about that.
So when I first met him, the crazy thing is he's younger than me. So we became like friend, not, I wouldn't say best friends, but we became close, like real close. And he didn't, read or write the English
too well.
Yeah, too well. So if he wanted to go rent a car, I would go with him and I would write write his stuff out and stuff. We became really tight, but I didn't think that at first. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just get this money in,
right,
and that's gonna be it. But yeah, but I kind of can tell when somebody is the man,
right?
Yeah, and I knew that he was the man from what he was saying, and then he started pitting me on to other people, but he was still the top dog.
Interesting. Okay. At some point, you're like, all right, I got to do business with this guy. This is the guy. Like, is kind of like your friend the middleman in the beginning, and then you kind of transition into dealing directly with him, or how does that work?
No, that day was the day I just started dealing right with him. It didn't. I guess he was feeling my vibe, or yeah, I didn't have to go through a middleman no more after that. But I would pay the person that put me on to the plug. Yeah, I would pay him. And me and the person that put me onto the plug, we did a lot of business. We we did a lot. I actually saved him from going to jail. We did a lot of business. I told the cops that he was slow. So I said, he don't know what's going on. He's slow. Yep. And he beat, well, he didn't even get charged with nothing. And he was like he was in deep.
Okay. Yeah. So those Range Rovers, what was, how much total was he giving you for the cars?
25 at that time, 2,500.
2,500. You did 4 of them?
Yeah.
So you got, did you split 10 grand with your guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, from the sound of it, it wasn't too hard to steal a car, so.
Nah. It wasn't even, all right, so let me put it this way. It wasn't stealing, it was taking. We wasn't stealing shit, we was taking shit. So, yeah. Yeah, so they got to rephrase it.
So that walk me through one of the times you took one of those Range Rovers. Like it was they were all at service centers at Range Rover dealers?
No. It'd be on a lot. So one time we went to Maryland, I think it was, and one of my homies, he had the scrubs on, like he was a doctor.
Okay.
He went in there. He had his polo hat, and like little polo jacket, but he had his scrubs on like he was a doctor. And they gave him the keys and let him test drive the car. And we came straight back to Philly. Like, yeah. We came straight back.
That sounds way too easy.
It was easy. And that's why I survived doing it so long. It was easy. Nobody knew. Nobody knew shit. Nobody knew nothing. And I think even if and correct me if I'm wrong, I think even if the car lots knew, they didn't care because they still was getting paid the insurance from a car being gone.
You're totally right.
Yeah, so it's just like when the mob was burning out buildings, ain't nobody really care because y'all getting, you getting the insurance. Yeah, so you're not really taking a loss. It's not a personal vehicle. Right. So your insurance is paying for that.
Yeah, you're taking it from a dealer.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that's why it probably lasts so long because they like, I don't care. I wish they come back because we was hitting the same lot 3 or 4 times.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we was hitting the same lot for 7 years, hitting the same lot 3 or 4 times, and don't nobody never.
That's crazy.
Come and get you. You don't. I know they still had cameras back then, but you don't give tapes over and be like, well, look, this is what they doing. Some of them car lots probably was like, look, our cameras don't even work. We don't know what happened because they want to get the money. They don't want to be having to go to court and try to get the car back. They rather just get the insurance money.
And that's a brand new Range Rover, so they're getting every last dollar back.
Every last dollar. It's not their fault they got took. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I be trying to explain to people, but then people would be like, oh, you made they premium go up. I'm like, yo, this is not a personal car. This is a business. This is a tax write-off or insurance write-off or whatever it is. Yeah.
Seems like a victimless crime.
Yeah. That's what it was. It ain't like we went in there and bust them upside the head and said, give me the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you get them these 4 Range Rovers, what's the plan? Like, what does he tell you? At this point, he sees you're serious and you're making him good business. So what do you talk to the plug and he's like, all right, this is what I need now, or all right, let's take it to the next level. This is walk me through it. After the 4 Range Rovers, what happens?
So after the 4 Range Rovers, I started meeting other people. Like they would bring other people. So it was not just one plug. I had plugs all over.
Oh, so you had several plugs.
Yeah, I had plugs all over because so many people was bringing me cars. So
one guy couldn't take all the cars?
No. This plug, well, he can, but this plug would let me meet this plug and all of them was high. And then they started letting me meet women, and women was the plug. So I had women, I had doctors, lawyers, I had a brain surgeon buying the cars. So everybody was buying the cars. It was a lot of money in that shit, man.
What was the key to so like you're talking about like doctors, lawyers, people that live in this country here, right?
They live in this country, but they're from a different country. Yeah, they from.
So they would ship the car?
They ship the car back home.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They would ship the car back home.
All right.
Yeah.
What's what did you stick to a specific kind of car, or you used to do everything?
All right. So when I first started, they wanted, they wanted the Range Rovers and stuff, but then they wanted Toyota Camrys. They wanted Highlanders. they wanted. So I was getting
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then sometimes I would get special orders like a Z24. That's a Nissan, you know. So it's just what they wanted, and then you got government officials over there that wanted a specific car. So one time they needed F-150s. They needed, I think, 6 F-150s. So I put in a call to my folks out in North Philly, and we got them 6 F-150s done in like less than a week. The 6 F-150s was for a security detail in another country for a president. And I got them what they asked me for. I sent a Benz. This was 2011, right before I got locked up. 2011, I sent the Benz to another country for a president. And he called me and he was like, thanks, hey, they call me Ace. He said, thanks, Ace. Somebody put him on the line. He said, thanks, Ace. We're going to do a lot of business together. And I was doing business.
That's wild.
It is.
President of a country going,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but let's backtrack a little bit. So you meet several plugs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it can vary from the African plug to a Colombian doctor that wants to send a car to Colombia or something.
Yeah.
To it can vary.
Yeah,
right?
It can vary. Yeah, because they was going to London. They was going, it was Holland.
They were going everywhere.
Yeah, they were going everywhere. Yeah.
Did one country pay more than the other, or was there a market price kind of for cars?
It was like, because sometimes they would outbid each other. It was like a bidding system. Like somebody would call me and be like, hey, I need this. And then another person would call. So sometimes I knew that they was working for the same person across the pond, you know? So I would make one give me more than the other because they both called. But this person don't know that person called me.
Right.
Yeah. Because sometimes you had people that wouldn't give me to other people. They would not. But I would know when they'll call me for the same thing.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, that's for such and such. All right, give me 10 for it.
Okay.
And then if they want to make the money because somebody else was only trying to give me 6. So I'd be like, give me 10 for it. And then the 10 will get it. And then let's say if this person gave me $10,000, I would give the person that bring the car, because I would ask people like, what y'all want? And if a person say $2,000, that's what you want. I'm not, it's just like if somebody asks me, what do I want? And I'm going to say $1 million. And you be like, all right, I'm going to give you $1 million. But you go and get $10 million. I can't have a fit about what you went to go get. Yeah, so that's how I would do it. Sometimes I would just go for the higher bidder because I know I'm going to make more money in my pocket if I go with the higher bidder.
Okay.
Yeah.
How fast do you scale up the business? Meaning, how fast does it go from just you stealing cars to implementing a team and like that kind of stuff?
About 2 months. I put all
2
that
months
shit together.
Holy shit, that's fast.
2 months because I knew who was taking the cars. Yeah, I knew who was taking the cars. And as I was recruiting people, so one time I was trying to recruit this dude and he had an Audi A8 and he would not let this Audi A8 go. He drive this shit to work and everything, but it was off the lot and it was stolen, taken, whatever. And he would not let it go. I'm like, yo, I give you $500 because I'm gonna go sell it for $7,000-$8,000.
Right.
So I'm like, I give you $500. I give you this because I knew that he was taking them. And then we got tight, and then it was just me and him on that. But other people would bring me cars. But as far as the person I would hang with, it was just me and him, and we would go everywhere. I would sit on corners for fucking 14 hours a day looking for a buyer. Just scoping them out, just scoping. And once I seen a buyer come by, I'd be like, boom, bingo. And he used to drive me around and shit because I ain't like driving. So he'd drive me around. So I'd be like, bingo. And then we'd follow him. If it's an African, because Southwest is called Little Africa. So it's like Africans, full-blown Africans in Southwest. So I can see because I'm working the game now. So I know it's like I was a magnet or they was a magnet and I could find them. So I would follow them down. If they go in the store or something, I would get out the car. I'd be like, all right, wait right here. And I go in the store and I'd just be moving around. Then I'd be like, yo, I bet you I know what kind of car you like. And he'd be like, huh? I'd be like, I bet you I know what kind of car you like. And they'd say something and then we'd start conversating. And I'd be like, you like a Benz, man, ain't you? That's 550. I'd say something big. And then I'd be like, hey, you know, I could get you one. And then he'd be like, you can? And I'd be like, yeah. And he'd be like, and I'd be like, it ain't got no paperwork or nothing. And they'd be like, well, I don't care. And then I get the number. I could show you mad numbers in my phone right now. Because I ain't never switched my phone out. This shit is just still there. All that shit is just is still in the phone. Yeah, I had a lot of people because I would hunt them. I would stalk them. I would stalk my prey. You eat what you kill.
What do you develop a system for approaching people to recruit them? Like what would qualify someone as like a potential recruit for you?
To be on the team? Friends that I knew would get dirty in the streets if they had to. But I wasn't trying to change them, but I just was trying to show them that we could get this money without hurting nobody, without you selling drugs. I think a lot of people stop selling drugs. And, you know, I know a lot of people right now that's got successful businesses off of what we did. A lot. Yep. And they eating now, and they fine, and they well off, and I still talk to them, and they still good, and they ain't go to jail.
Wow. Okay, so mainly close friends, just people you knew.
Yeah, and then okay, so say like if I recruited you, you may got 5 people behind you that could bring you cars, and then say like you recruit your homie, now your homie got 5 people behind him that could. So that's what it was. It was just a bunch of phone calls that'd come back to me, 6 o'clock in the morning. Ace, I got this, or Keem, I got this, or Boogie, I got this. They call me every goddamn thing under the sun. But long as they call me 6 o'clock in the morning, and I get up, and my day would be over by 10 o'clock in the morning. I done made $10,000, $20,000 by 10 o'clock in the morning. So I stepped the system up. I made people start paying me $1,000 just to talk to me. So when they come in from, you know, even if they was here, I still make them pay. But normally I make somebody that just came from overseas. You meet me in the bar and we talk. And if I like what you're saying, you buy me the drink and all that. And then the next day you give me the list and you give me $100,000. And that $100,000 is going to cover everything on the list. So what I do is I got the list and I got the $100,000. I tell everybody, hey, I need this, I need this, I need this. Whoever bring it first, that's the one I'm going to sell. And then I would ask them, how much you want, how much you want, how much you want. Sometimes people would be in the slumps and be like, yo, bro, just give me $1,000. I go get that joint right now. So out of $100,000, I'm going to keep $90,000 because I'm going to get all 10 of them cars that's on that list for the cheap. One time they gave me $100,000 and I'm with my homie, Reek. I'm with my homie and I'm like, yo, I just got this money. So we at the happy end. That's where it was at. I put the $100,000 in the glove compartment and he with me. So I'm just testing him to see what he gonna do. I put it in there. We go in the bar and when we come back out, the money was still in there. So I knew I could trust him. But I wouldn't put people that was that close to me onto it. I don't know why. That was just something I didn't do. But we all would party and have a good time. But I just wouldn't. Nobody knew what I was doing. Nobody around me knew what I was doing. People knew that was bringing me the cars, but nobody knew what I was doing for 7 years. My mom, my brothers, my sister, nobody knew. Not even my cousin. And my cousin used to be with me every day. I just never told him what I did.
Is there ever a point where you do like one really big job?
All of them. That's when I was getting $100,000.
So that just became like a list of like 10 cars was nothing for you.
No,
that
was it wasn't nothing. No, because I had them parked all around Southwest. So even if you gave me a list, I would have probably them cars.
The cars ready.
Yeah. So what I would do is if I couldn't sell a car, I would buy it off of the person, but I would buy it for cheap, and I would just sit it there. Sometimes the cops may come and take it, or sometimes I can still get it off. But yeah. Yep.
What determined, at this point, do you pretty much take any car that the crew brings you? Or did you always have kind of like certain cars that you like to pick out that you knew you could sell in the future?
No, so a couple people started bringing me Chargers, and they didn't want Chargers. So what I would do is I trade that shit for something in the neighborhood. Like, all right, bro, I got this car. You can have it. It's brand new. Give me such and such. Yeah, if I couldn't sell it, then I couldn't sell it, or I just leave it there and let the cops, come get it. But I had like so many spots around the city that had brand new cars, rapper on it. It used to be rappers on the car. Like the white plastic used to still be on the car.
So at this point, is it past just kind of like those dealership lot jobs? Like your crew's getting them from anywhere and everywhere?
Yeah, some people was doing other stuff, but every time they would do other stuff and I would see it on the news, I would shut down. I would shut it down for, I don't know what's the longest I have shut it down for, but I shut it down and I'd be like, yo, y'all can't be out here carjacking or nothing like that because y'all going to draw heat. If it's violence or if it's, you turning into a felony now. Yeah, I didn't want that.
What were the rules you had for your crew? Like, what did you, aside from obviously not stealing cars from people?
Right. So I had, don't drive a car. If you wanted to drive a car, you got enough money to go buy a car. So don't drive, don't drive no stolen car being cheap and shit because you don't want to go buy a car. No taking them from houses, no taking them from people really. No violence at all. That was my main rule, no violence at all. And don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody what y'all doing. That was like my rules. And the rules work, because I did it for so long without nobody knowing, except for the people that was with us. Now, if they told they people what was going on, that was them telling they people. They never told them about me. Nobody has never approached me and say, yo, you the boy that be taking the shit. Yeah, nobody had never did that.
So there's never a situation where you have to kind of cut somebody off or step into a situation because they broke one of your rules. Does anything like that ever happen?
Yeah. So one time I went up North Philly to sell a car, and the dude tried to backdoor me. So they wouldn't do business. The Africans wouldn't do business with the dude, but he was telling them all this stuff. And so my friend started shooting at him.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's about that money. It do get a little dangerous about that money. It do get a little dangerous. Yeah, especially when you backdooring. So after that happened, my homie called me and he says, yo, the dude is in the party. He was in a party or something. He said, what you want me to do? I said, paralyze him. I was drawn. I used to be but he didn't do it though. He didn't do it. Ain't nothing happened, but I just used to be in my bag a little bit, especially when somebody crossed me. But yeah. And then come to find out, like later on, me and the dude still got cool because he still wanted to make money. And he couldn't get no cars off to nobody. So yeah. So everything be coming back around in a circle. And I wasn't stingy. I wasn't trying to be nobody boss. I wasn't doing none of that. I just came up with a way that everybody can make some money and everybody should be cool. I know the crime rate went down when I was doing this. I know it did. But they ain't gonna tell you that a nigga made the crime rate go down. A young dude, leadership. They don't want that.
At some point, did you kind of want to help guys get off the street? Like, is that something that you saw over time? People stopped selling drugs, stopped getting into trouble, and this was real low key. Was that something you wanted to do?
Yeah, when I started it, yeah, because dudes was buying houses and everything, and it's crazy because they was doing that, but I wasn't doing that. Like, but I was happy to see them. They be like, yo, I just bought this crib, bro. Come. I used to be in a club and people would send me bottles that, that have bought me cars and stuff. And I'd be like, oh, where this from? And they from across the thing, and they be like that. Because a lot of people was eating. A lot of people was eating.
Mm.
A lot of people got to take care of a lot of people too. Yep.
All right. So business is good.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling a lot of cars. At this point, you're doing those, a list of 10 cars is nothing. You're making $100,000 of 10 cars. Yeah. How fast could you move a list of 10 cars? Like, how fast could you get all those cars to the person?
In a week, as long as they had the truck. If they got the truck, if they got the container, is no time at all. But usually when they came, they had everything set up. So all they doing is coming to get the car. They got their own drivers. The plug be having their own drivers. So even if we taking them up to Ohio, New York, Canada, DC, Maryland, Baltimore, Florida, Miami, they was coming from Miami.
Mm.
Yeah, they was, and it'd be rental cars too and shit. Like, like it was a big system. I don't want to say too much on a rental system, but it was a big system that it probably would have blown their mind if I would have really sat down and told them people what was going on. It would have blown their mind. It was a system. It was a damn good system because the cars was coming in. You know how Meech and them had them things moving all around? Mm. That's how I had the cars moving. That is how I had the cars moving. You figure some people out here probably only getting, even if they sell a brick or something, they probably getting 1,000 off of everyone. If they got 100 bricks, you're getting $1,000 off of everyone. You got 100 bricks, so you should be cool with getting $1,000 and you pushing them. But I got a fucking 100 cars, and I'm making 10 grand off of every fucking car. I'm making more than a drug dealer, and I ain't risking my life. It's just it was just being smart. If you really do the math and you put it together, it's just like moving drugs, but it's just not a violent thing.
Yeah, and keeping it low key.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you can move 10 cars in a week if the plug has everything settled up. And I mean,
so I could move 10 in a week, but you just gotta do the math. It was so many people bringing the cars, so I really couldn't even give you a number. It could be 4 this week. It could be 5 next week. It could be 10. It could be, because these cars are coming from everywhere. Yeah, it's so many people that's bringing them. It was so many. It wasn't like it was just me and you just bringing cars. No. And it wasn't like it was me, you, and the plug. No, this room would be filled up with plugs, women and men. Yeah, it wasn't just a one person thing. It was like a well-oiled machine. It was well-oiled.
So over time, the African plug, right? Mm-hmm. Was he the only plug you had that exported cars?
No,
aside from, like in bulk, right? Like not just like the lawyer from London that wanted a specific car.
All of them had bulk. All of them would get more than one car. It wasn't like, oh, let me try this. I want one car. No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. If he got 5 cars, next week somebody would come with a list and be like, yo, I need 5 cars. Or they'll be like bumping heads, like, no, I want, give me Ace. Give me Ace number. And yeah, man, they used to fight and everything. Yeah. Okay. That shit used to be crazy because back then the money was so good. And the crime, it wasn't really no crime like it is now. But nobody running by, blowing nobody's head off or carjacking them and doing all that. They wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that because it was controlled. It was controlled. Didn't nobody want no carjacked car. Now everybody just carjacking and taking, and then I'd be like, well, where is it going? You get in court. I didn't get court for 7 years. These dudes get in court in 7 days.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys, taking a quick break from the podcast to talk to you about Gus Villa jewelry. Yo, let's be real here for a second. If you're rocking plain jewelry in Miami, of all places, you are doing it 100% wrong, my boy. Step your game up with Gus Villa Jewelry, the plug for real Cuban link gold and silver chains. And of course, the cleanest Rolexes in all of Miami. This isn't factory made or watered down or any of that stuff. This is high quality, custom, handmade stuff that shines from here to the moon. It turns heads, starts conversations, and makes you look fresh. Gus has something that'll level up your whole vibe. And because you're locked in here with us at Honor Among Thieves podcast, you're getting a hookup. Use the promo code Montana at checkout. Get 5% off your entire order. That's right, 5% off. Go check them out at gusvillajewelry.com or pull up on them in the Diamond District down here in downtown Miami. gusvillajewelry.com. Again, that's gusvillajewelry.com. And tell them your boy Montana sent you. Gus Villa Jewelry. Now back to the podcast. So you have a 7-year run.
Yeah.
7 years. Okay.
7 years.
Man, that's a long run.
Long run and a lot of money.
Yeah. I would ask you if you had to make a prediction how much you made in those 7 years, but I know you probably have no idea.
I know I made them hundreds of millions of dollars, but me personally, I probably made $6 million.
It's not bad for 7 years.
No, that's just a total, not like little shit that I would make and throw away, but yeah, about that.
Okay, so let's talk about what ultimately ends that run. Mm-hmm. And walk me through that day. Like, what is it? A job you're doing? Tell me the details of that. What happens?
So I got a call for a Q7, an Audi Q7.
Okay.
In Cheltenham Mall. Mm. So I'm with my best friend, and he like, yo, we don't go to no malls. The mall is so big that this is a setup. He like, I know this is set up. So I'm like, no, I need this money. I'm gonna get this money because I wanted to buy a Range Rover. I remember I wanted to buy a Range Rover, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this money. So, and mind you, the car that we in is his girlfriend car at the time, and she a police officer. Mm. So we go up there. He still takes me, and I get out the car. Me and my other young boy get out the car, and we walking over, and I see the Connect, and I see the guys that I'm selling the car for, because I'm middlemaning too. So I see the guys I'm selling the car for, but I'm breaking everybody off some money that's with me. So me and the young boy get into an argument on a parking lot. I can't remember what the argument got going on, but we going back and forth. The whole time we being recorded though. They got us under surveillance. So as we arguing and shit, the cops it was like 20 cops came from this way and 20 cops came from this way, and we ain't know what to do. So I tried to run. My homie takes off in the car, the one that I'm selling the car for, that's setting me the fuck up. But anyway, I tried to jump in the back of his car, and I got all the money on me, all the money, and the cops had grabbed us and shit, and they pat me down, and they fills the money, but they didn't do nothing. They just like, give me your ID. So they got my ID, and they got my name and my address, and then they let us go. But the whole time, there was 2 buses going on there that night. It was a drug bus, and it was a bus to bus us. Well, they didn't really want to bus us. They wanted to see where the car was going. So they had this airplane there. The airplane, they make no noise. It was like, one of them cop joints that don't be making the noise and shit.
Right.
So the airplane was supposed to follow the car to a shipping thing out in New York. So, so they can set up on that. But that never happened. And then they got my address. So now they got my address. So I goes home. I didn't get the Range Rover. I got a Jag, and I got it tinted dark. Couple days later, the cops pull me over, and they take the car. But right before that, I let the dude that I knew was working for the FBI, I let him hold my car, and I took his car. And I don't know if they put a bug in it or not. I don't know. But they took the car. They pulled me over, and they took the car, and they didn't get a car back. So maybe 2 weeks later, the cops come to my house, and they they say, hey, you know what we here for? I said, yeah, y'all took my car. And he said, no, it's bigger than that. He said, you want to talk? He said, we're not going to take you down. We're not going to take you down to the station because you got the baby. I had my son. And he like, we're not going to take you down to the station. He said, but do you want to talk? And I'm like, no, I don't know what y'all talk about. So they give me the card and, you know, I call my lawyer and I get a card to my lawyer. And he called him and he asked him what it's about. And they tell him everything. And from there, they just was on me. They just was on me. And then they came to my block, like trying to follow me around and shit. So I take them on a little wild goose chase around the neighborhood. I'm running and they driving. But everywhere I stop at, they around. They just around. That's how I knew it was over. I knew they was coming to get me.
How long does it take from that incident until they got you?
A week later, because they was trying to get somebody. They never had nothing on me for real, for real. So they was still trying to get people to set me up. They still was sending like people around to like try to buy a car and yeah. And then they finally came. I guess they went to my apartment building. They got the key because they opened the door. They knocked one time, but then they came in, they opened the door and they locked me up.
Was it the feds?
No, it was the state.
The state.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the state. But when we finally got in there and they finally started discussing everything, Homeland Security came in. Yeah.
Because you're exporting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Things going out the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it like once you're arrested, cops, all that, Homeland Security, what's going on? Like Homeland Security interrogates you?
No, they never interrogated me. They just was in there. The state. So when I got locked up, they brought us all down to this Bucks County. And so when I got in there, I seen all these people, and I never knew that these people was bringing me cars. Like I said, you could have people, and then your people would be on there.
Right.
So when I first went in there, I was pointing people out. I'm like, yo, he didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know him. And excuse me. And the judge was dropping people bells because I'm like, they don't have nothing to do with this. This is, this is me. Yep. But right before that, I got set up. I meant to tell you, I got set up with a BMW by the same person that set me up in the mall. And I didn't know it. But the cops still couldn't get me because I didn't get out the car and I always had tint. So they didn't even know what the fuck was going on. But they had a tracker on the car. And when the car went to the container, they busted the container. They took they had the container with the car in it. So that was one of the cars. I think they charged me with 50-something cars. One paper, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't read the paperwork, because one paper say 41, one paper say 51, and another one say 56. So I don't even know what the fuck I was charged with. I just know I had a lot of cars.
Right.
And that was only in 8 months. It wasn't no investigation on me that brought me down for 7 years. That was only 8 months when they put that person on me to set me up. Yeah, that was only 8 months. So all that time I was doing it, I was fine up until the 8 months. During the 8 month, it was only an 8-month investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you get out on bond?
Yeah.
How soon? Like the same day?
No, 30 days later. It was a $30,000 bond. I had to wait 30 days, and then I got out, and maybe a month later, I went right back to it while I was going to court.
That's wild.
While I was going to court.
No
and
fear.
It's crazy because I can't say that, but yeah, because I don't want to put nobody in
no
jeopardy.
worries.
But yeah, I went back and I was doing it again. Yep. 7 more years.
Like nothing happened.
I was doing it again, and I was doing it wilder because I was fucking trying to sell excavators and planes, and if you wanted a building, I could fucking make the deal for the building. I was like probably one of the biggest brokers in the underworld. In that underworld, I was the biggest broker. So if you wanted to get rid of a plane, all you had to do was call me, and I'd get somebody that that'll buy it. A boat, all you had to do was call me, and I'd get somebody to buy it.
So it gets even bigger after you get out of jail. It's not just cars; it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Everything. Diamonds. Somebody wanted an excavator to dig up diamonds in the jungle. Yep, everything.
And what like after you get out and you start selling planes and all that stuff, was it the same plugs that kind of wanted the same stuff?
It was all the same people.
All the same people.
Because I didn't flip on them. It's politics on certain stuff. So some people may have a problem with some stuff and some people may not. But with this, it was all politics. So I came back out and I started working with all the same people. Even the person that was in jail was calling home, you know, sending orders to his people, and they still would come and buy off me.
Right.
Yeah. Ain't nobody stray away from me or nothing. I still was running it. I still ran it when I came out. And people was just waiting for me to get out of jail because wouldn't nobody do business with nobody else, it seemed like. I mean, even if you did for a while, it didn't go right. So they had to come back to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this case is going on, right?
Yeah, the case went on from 2000 and I think it was 11 or 12 until 2014. I pled guilty in 2014. And I was doing it the whole time I was going to court. I was like, yeah.
Okay. So is anybody else involved in the case? Any one of your plugs?
Yeah, they was involved, but you know, they got their time, and like I said, they was calling shots from the jail and I was answering shots from the jail. Yeah.
So once it gets to the point where you got to plead guilty, is that your own decision, or is there kind of like a talk between people, like a common agreement? What happens?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not able to really say because it's a politic thing.
No worries.
Yeah, it was everything that happened was planned to happen to make the business keep on going.
Okay.
So if they could read between the lines and they could read between the lines, anything that happened in it, I still dealt with the same people. Nobody has no animosity or nothing. I still dealt with the same people. It's politics, it's business. And I'm a businessman.
Okay. So you plead guilty.
Yeah.
What's the sentence?
The sentence was 2 years probation. And then they came back and said 4 years. They gave me 2 more years because they wanted to watch me. That's why I don't understand why they didn't catch me the second time. I don't think that they thought that it was on the scale that I'm trying to say that is, you know? Yeah, but it was.
But 4 years probation seems light for stealing 50 cars, though.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And it's in the it's still in the paper. But it's receiving stolen property. It wasn't, hey, I took these cars.
Right.
Yeah. Receiving stolen property is, you know, especially with no strikes or nothing like that. Yeah.
Okay. So you get sentenced.
A lot of people just got probation. It wasn't.
That's the difference between the feds and the state. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. And then some people got to understand it was only 8 months. It wasn't 7 years invested. They was on me for 7 years.
Right.
I mean, they probably heard of me, but nobody would give me up back then.
Right.
So on them 8 months, that's what you got me for. You got me for 8 months. How much fucking time you think I'm going to do for fucking doing something for 8 months that's on paper?
Right.
Yeah. And then if y'all saying y'all got 51 cars, y'all got the cars back.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all got them cars back, but it's fucking a lot more that, you know, made it over. So, yeah.
So you get sentenced in 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
Business as usual after you get sentenced?
Business as usual. And I'm on probation.
That's wild.
So business as usual. I finished my probation. Once I finished my probation, I started the Hollywood thing. I wanted to tell my story. I wasn't really talking about it because I still was, you know, and I just, you know, just started telling my story because I knew I wasn't going back. I knew it was over. I was done. And that's what I try to push now. And I try to push to the youth that you could wake up tomorrow and stop what you're doing. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to go to jail to, you know, get your life right. You don't have to.
What makes you decide to stop doing it if everything was going fine?
Because my homie passed away, and that was like my best friend, and that shit, I never thought that something like that would hurt. Like, you know what I mean? So I
What happens? Is it something? Was it involved because of the business or what?
No. Natural causes, but before that, we had like an argument. But we always be on bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called me the day he died. They called me to come outside, and I ain't come out. And he was like, "Keemy ain't coming out. Keemy mad at me." And then 2 hours later, he passed away, and I didn't get to say nothing to him or nothing. So I just woke up like the next morning. I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. And I cut all my hair off. I went celibate for 2 years, and I just changed. I didn't go back. I get calls all the time. I get calls to come back. I get offered money, everything. I just wanted to change my life. But don't nobody want to hear about the change I made. Everybody think that everybody think that I'm probably still doing what I'm doing. So that's why I just tell my story. I don't even tell the change, but I want to start telling, like, I stopped. I really woke up one morning and put it all behind me.
So it was mainly the death of your friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the death of my friend, and then I start looking at my kids different. I just start looking, and then I start thinking about all the people that, was mentally hurt because they was taking cars from people too and shit. People got to go to work, and they come out and their car not there. They start it up because it's cold outside, and go back in the house, and somebody taking the car and bringing it to me. Like, I didn't have a conscience back then. I didn't have no conscience, but now that shit eats you up sometimes after that.
It definitely does.
Yeah, even though ain't nobody get, killed or nothing, thank God, but the mental stuff still fuck with you.
I can relate, 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, Skinny, that's a hell of a story. I want to ask certain things about it, but I know there's certain things you can't talk about, so I'll leave it for
you. Shoot your shot. If I say so, just shoot it.
What's I know you had, like, aside from the other thing, you had the whole murder rap and all that. How deep can we touch up on any of that? Or
see, when we talk about that, I don't really want to. I would talk about it, but I want somebody to do their homework on it first. Because you had to do your homework on it, and when they do their homework on it, I can touch on it. I don't really want to touch on it, because I didn't have nothing to do with it. But the cops was trying to say I did, but yeah, it's a little deep, So if anybody do their homework on it, I talk about it. But I just don't want to come out and
say I got you.
Yeah, and talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So Skinny, that was a great podcast. I appreciate you coming on. I usually wrap up asking the same few questions. So the first question is, what's next for you?
I just started my business. It's a consulting business. It's called A. Lane Impact Group, and it's basically going around to the youth, telling impactful stories, and I can actually consult. Like, what I want to do, really, I want to consult rental car companies on how to make their business flow a little smoother. Yeah.
You can make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, because I don't want to say the name of the company, but I was working for this company, and when I got there, it was a big company, and and I made them do a lot of things to make the company better, and it actually ran better. And when I left, they missed me. Yeah, they missed me. But I know that I can consult because I'm very organized. I organize everything. So. Yeah.
And it's a niche business. You can do so much with it. You can consult rental companies. You can consult dealerships.
Yeah.
You can consult 360. Anybody involved in the car business. You do really well. So that sounds like it's gonna do good.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I know potentially you had a movie deal.
Yeah, I had a TV series deal with ABC Signature / Disney, I guess. But due to the strike, it went back on the shelf. But everything is God's wills and God's plans. So maybe that wasn't it right then. But if anybody Google it, it's called Off the Rims. That is about my life. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe we'll see it. All right. Next question. You believe in redemption?
this is a story of redemption, I guess. So what I'm trying to do now, like I said, I'm trying to convince the youth that starting over is not a bad thing. Waking up and starting over. You don't have to go to jail and spend years in jail to start your life over. I'm a prime example of that. You wake up and be like, yo, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it no more. Yeah. You don't want to die out here. So I mean, I know everybody want to be gangster, but it's corporate gangsters too. Go be a corporate gangster and get that real money.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, take what you learn in the street and just pitch it on a higher level. Because I know I could run a Fortune 500 company with no glitches. I know I can. I ran a whole, without no credentials or nothing, I ran a whole company. I ran it. I was there every day from sun up to sundown, making sure that everything ran smooth at this company. And everybody used to come up to me like, yo, you got this place moving. And it wasn't no Rite Aids or not, you know, down to nobody that work at Rite Aids, but it wasn't no Rite Aids or nothing like that. It was an actual company that, you know, I got awards for. I got an award for doing it, for running, for organizing things at a company. So I know, you know. Yep.
Do you believe you've redeemed yourself?
No, not all the way. I still got some doing. If I could get through to a few youth, then yeah, that's when I think I start redeeming myself. But I don't want to give myself credit for that. I don't want nobody to give me credit for that. That's just my payback to society.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a long way to go. Just starting. But, you know. Yep.
How do you want to be remembered?
As a motherfucking gangster.
Dope. How can people connect with you?
You can connect with me on Instagram, skinny.keem, TikTok, Skinny Keem. You know, just go check out all the podcasts that I'm on. I'm on like 7 now, so, and hopefully we get a TV series soon, or no, I'm not even gonna say hopefully. We'll be getting a TV series soon because I'm big on energy and I'm big on manifesting. I'm big on putting that out there. Yeah, and I just like to be around people with positive and good energy. So anybody's welcome to DM me and ask me questions if y'all want. And, you know, yep.
Skinny, appreciate you coming. You got a hell of a story.
Thanks, man.
I'm glad we were able to do this.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys, push it to the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Say goodnight to the bad guy. So say goodnight to the bad guy.
You looking at the bad guy. This the last time that you ever see a bad guy like me. You don't have the guts to be who you wanna be.